Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Koboman. Today is a help desk training video, meaning if you're into help desk, if you want to get into help desk, this video is great for you. All right, let's pick this one here, and it says, my computer keeps crashing from Memi. Thank you very much for submitting this ticket. All of these tickets are submitted by my viewers, so I really appreciate it. And it says here, hello, my computer keeps crashing the boot process. Please help me. So this is something that could be caused by master boot record. Basically, what happening is whenever your computer boots up, it looks for a master boot record. And if that record is broken, meaning all of these files that are required to load operating system or load into the computer or the computer to load, if they're missing or corrupted, this could be causing the issue. Other issue for that could be hardware issue. So whether it's hard drive issue or whether it's memory issue or anything else, this could be causing this crashing during the boot process. So what can you do? Well, you can repair your master boot record, and you can do this by getting into your repair option that is located within your operating system. You can also do this with the image of the Windows 11 or Windows 10 operating system if you have it loaded on your thumb drive. I will go ahead and show a video clip that is from my video when it comes to troubleshooting the CrowdStrike issue. I don't know if you remember, but there was a couple of months ago a CrowdStrike issue that caused blue screen of death. Basically, it's the same thing as here in the sense that the computer will not boot up. It keeps crashing. So we'll show a clip of that on how to get this recovery mode. So once you get a blue screen of death, what you wanted to do is let it reboot 3 times on its own, and that's what usually will happen. And then at some point it will say recovery mode. In this case, you would select see advanced repair options, and then from there go ahead and select troubleshoot, advanced options, and then startup repair. All right, with that out of the way, I will just go ahead and send a reply. And these tickets are, again, from the viewers that send me these issues. And for those reasons, since I don't have direct access to their computer, I will just go ahead and send them a possible solution. So let's go ahead and just say, this could be caused by broken/corrupted master boot record. Not master book record, but master boot record, like as in boot on your foot. And also could be caused by bad hardware. For example, hard drive, RAM, overheating, and etc. And etc. All right. In case I haven't shown it before, this is how you would look for possible hardware issues. This is a really good indicator. So in the event viewer, which you can find by right-clicking the start menu and select event viewer, open it up and go ahead and go to system logs where it says under Windows logs, expand that. If it's not expanded, select system logs, and then within here look for errors that stand out. Here's another error here, and it says the shadow copy volume C were aborted because shadow copy storage could not do it. Anyways, these are the type of errors that you're looking for that would indicate possible hardware issues. And you can sort this by really simply, by going to create custom view, because I know right now this kind of looks like gibberish, right? But if you select custom view, which is right over here, create custom view, select type of issue that you want. So critical, error. So these are all log files or alerts that you would see within event viewer. And then if this happened recently, which I would highly recommend that you change it to, like, for example, last 12 hours. So that way it doesn't take a long time to process these logs because there are tons of them. Once you select all of this, just make sure that by log, and then make sure that this here says system, select OK, and then select OK. This is just to save the name for this custom view, and it will display to you all the issues that are currently happening on your computer, whether it's critical errors or anything like that. And also, if it's a blue screen of that, you can also look at the dump file. So you would get that blue screen of that, and it would say to check the issues or to check the specific or why this crash happened. You can look at this record that is, I forget, I think it's called dump record or DAP. I think it's called .dmp extension. So there is a viewer for that you can download from Microsoft, which actually will give you details. I think it's called .dmp file viewer. So this is something you can get from Microsoft. And I think it's this one here, how to read small memory dump files. blah, blah, blah. I forget what was it called? Debugger. Here it is. Download and install debugging tools for Windows, which will allow you to access this DMP file, and it will give you very specifics, and it will tell you which part of the hardware is causing the problem. Now that's a whole nother video in itself, and if you want me to create a video specifically on how to use this debugging tool, then please let me know in the comments below, and I will gladly make a video specific to that. It's actually really cool. I'm just not sure how many people would be interested in this, and because it's slightly more advanced than normal, right? All right, so let's move on. I'm going to just resolve this ticket and select another random one. All right, so let's pick this one here. Cursor jumps around from Jay. Thank you, Jay, for submitting this ticket. Oh, it looks like there are some follow-up comments as well. So it says here, cursor jumps around, and it says description, cursor jumps around only when using a work VPN, when typing, even if a user uses a wired or wireless mouse or touchpad, the problem's still the same. This problem is annoying because the cursor will go to another part of the document when typing. Okay, yeah, we've seen this before. User is still having the same issue with the replacement computer. And then it says here, update. Thank you for updates. I appreciate them. User had been given new computer because issue isn't fixed. And it says here, tried restarting computer, updating touchpad, mouse drivers, VPN settings look fine. No settings related to this. Okay, good. Performed quick hardware diagnostic, but seems like a software issue. No one else had the same issue. So now, when it comes to cursor jumping around, it's where the problem is still annoying because we'll go to another part of the document when typing. So you've done all of these things that are related to the input, right? The input is anything that is connected to the computer that will provide input, whether it's keyboard or a mouse, or in this case also a touchpad if it's a laptop. And it looks like you've done all of these things, which is great. These are the things I would also check. Mouse driver, VPN settings look fine. No settings related to the mouse. So it sounds like they are working from home, hence the VPN is related. So this is something I would actually concentrate on specifically. And it may not be the VPN itself, but the setting for the display that it's being used. Now, I don't know much about Fort Client here, if it's just a regular VPN where it just creates a tunnel between your home network and business network, your work network, meaning that you are creating a connection from home to work, so that way you have access to everything that's on a work's network in the work environment. So basically, as if you were at work. That's what usually VPN just simply does, and obviously it encrypts it so that way other people can't intercept it or other computers can't intercept it. But aside from that, sometimes people are set up to use remote desktop protocol or some kind of a remote viewing on another computer. Now, whether it's Citrix, so for example, you can use Citrix to use these sessions that are also virtual machines, or whether it's simply remote desktop protocol, which is just opening up remote desktop like this. Remote desktop, you type in the name of the computer after you are connected to VPN. You type in the name of the computer name, you select connect, and then you connect to it. And this can be also shown here in case you're not familiar with this. Here are some virtual machines. Here's a client 2. If I select connect, this is just another way of connecting to a remote computer using remote desktop protocol. So in this case, this is a virtual machine. So as far as I know, user could be set up to use one of these. And the reason I'm talking about this is because it just might be related to the cursor jumping. It runs a virtual machine, hence the name, meaning that it's not running on your computer. This Windows operating system here is not running on this computer, so therefore it has to kind of replicate the input and output of your computer at the same time. Meaning, Again, input, we've already explained, mouse, keyboard, etc. Output is your display. Your display, meaning your screen, right? Your computer screen. So after I log into this, you will see the resolution of this also change. And let me just try a different user here. So this is a lab that's provided from Microsoft. There's no personal information here released or any passwords. So you saw how the resolution changed. When these type of things happen, when it comes to working remotely, it can change the way the input behaves, because you saw that suddenly the screen stretched, and sometimes you come across an issue where that does not mesh well with the input. So this thing expanded, this screen expanded, but the mouse could be, or even the cursor could be, assuming that the screen is still roughly this size, right? Roughly this size. So it tries to provide input for the size of that. And if there's no if there's no, I was going to say mishmash of it, but more of like a replication of that, where the input is aware of what's going on with the output, it could cause these random issues where the cursor would jump, or your mouse would not be pointing. Let's say here, it clearly works. If I click on this, I can drag it around and the mouse works fine. But in some cases, it wouldn't be, you try to click on it, nothing happens, but because your cursor is actually trying to point over here, and then it's not actually wanting to connect with that because of the stretch of the display. Again, this is just an example of remote desktop protocol, but if they are, for example, using Citrix Workspace as well, after they connect to their computer, here's Citrix Workspace. I don't think I'll have anything connected right now, so I apologize for that. But Citrix Workspace basically is, you log into it and it gives you access to a bunch of different things that are for your company, that are basically virtual machines on Citrix Workspace server. And one of those could be just a virtual machine that's set up in there. Just a virtual, like I think they call them pooled machines, and anything else that you run within that will be virtual machine. Again, it's not going to be a computer. It's not going to be run on your computer. It's going to be just a connection to it. The only part that's going to run on your computer, obviously, is just handling of the client for this, right? So remote desktop protocol in this case. When it comes to display as well, you might want to check the zoom in function of the displays. Now, this can happen when you have multiple monitors. So in this case, user could have multiple monitors that's causing this issue. And if each monitor has a different resolution, let's say one is running at 1080p and the other one is slightly higher, and they're both connected, can cause these type of issues where the resolution is not aligned because of the different size of different screens. So here is an example of what it looks like when you have two monitors that are set up. And if you have scale set up, here it is, change scale. And if it's set up to anything that's not recommended scale, then you could be having issues, especially if you have multiple monitors. Now, the reason mine looks like this is because I literally have a second monitor here that's completely different resolution. And this one is set to 350% because I'm using a giant screen, which is like, I don't know, I think it's like 50-inch size. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But normally you would have this set to like 100%. But if you can just experiment with this if you're having issues with the cursor or a mouse pointer when it comes to input and output of this system. All right. And in this case, I will say, since you've already checked and ruled out a computer hardware issue, I would look into display or possibly multiple monitor issue if they have different resolutions. This can also happen when using remote desktop software and in virtual, I'm going to spell it out, virtual machines. All right. Complete. Okie dokie, let's try something here. Page not loading error. Let's look at this one here. Oh, cool. All right. Page not loading error. These are the troubleshooting steps that Tracy has taken. The user was trying to access this portal page, but was not loading the confirmed credentials. The user has access to the portal, but okay, so but still not working. Guided her to switch to incognito mode in different browsers like Safari and check some websites, but still doesn't work. Okay, so to me, so far it seems like an internet issue maybe, or access issue. Created a Zoom session to be on share screen. Good. Looks like Tracy's done some good troubleshooting here. She was unable to submit her application because the confirmation tab is not responding. The screenshot is attached. Escalating this ticket for further help. All right, there is a cool screenshot here. So let's see what it says here. So this looks like, well, obviously they have access to the internet or the intranet, meaning their network that's connected to the company. Sometimes you have access to internet, which is outside of your company. So anything like that's outside of your company that you normally visit to. But this could be intranet. But it doesn't matter. There's a connection, right? The issue is here with logging in. And it says enter your password. Okay, you cannot edit this selection. Okay. So there really isn't much that can help us here because it's just a login screen. Let's reiterate here. The user was trying to access the application portal. However, the page was not loading and not loading the confirmed credentials. So I guess nothing happens, right? Nothing happens whenever they try to log in. She was unable to submit her application because the confirmed credentials tab is not responding. So nothing happens whenever this person tries to log in. Nothing. They would select confirm credentials and nothing happens. So there are a couple of different issues that could be causing this. The first one would be issues with the website itself. The second issue could be, and it says just to double check here, guided her to switch to incognito mode in Chrome and tried a different browser as well like Safari and check some websites. So she checked this website, but it doesn't work. But anyways, getting back to the issue of when you select confirm credentials, nothing happens. This could be caused by not having pop-ups, for example, enabled. This could be also caused by some parts of the website that require your certain permissions for it to work. Now, this could also be a reason for a website trying to open up a template or some kind of a app that pops up in the sense, and it could be using Java as far as we know. Some older systems are still using Java applets to run their applications and form that they're using. So what would happen is you select confirm credentials and it tries to log you in, but there will be like a huge pop-up right here, and then it suddenly looks completely different. Sometimes Java is used, although if it's Chrome, and in this case it does look like it's Chrome, Java is built in within Chrome nowadays, so that shouldn't be the issue. But I would look at permissions issue for this website specifically and make sure that all of this type of stuff is enabled and that the pop-ups are allowed, because this could be blocking as well. Now there could be some parts of it that are being blocked by the firewall as well, which is really hard to troubleshoot when you're help desk. The only people that can check that is, people that have access to this type of stuff. Could be cybersecurity, could be networking. It really is depending on the company itself. So let's look at Chrome as some things that we can make sure that are enabled. So let's go to the three dots here on the Chrome. So on top here, let's go to settings down here and look for pop-ups. Nowadays, web browsers have so many options in here, tons of them. I highly suggest you just search for whatever it is that you're looking for. Here you can tell that I simply just typed in pop-up. I don't have time to go through all of this stuff, and neither will you when you're doing help desk support if you need to do this. So I highly encourage you to use search function in anything that you know might exist. So here it is, site settings for pop-ups on the bottom. And it's nicely highlighted as well. And here it is, pop-ups and redirects. So actually that's a good reminder. It could be trying to redirect you to something else, again, like an applet or whatever it is that that website is trying to do. Select in here, and it says by default here, don't allow sites to send pop-ups or use redirects. Now you can specify a website that obviously you trust, right? And here is, you can add an exceptions. Actually, this is basically the blacklist, and it says not allowed to send pop-ups or redirects, and you can add them manually, or you can also create a whitelist, which means that they're allowed, and it says allowed to send pop-ups and use redirects. So I would select this here, add, and add the name of that website. Let me see what the website is here. Let's just pretend it's this one here. I'll go ahead and go to it. And let's pretend it's this one here, which it actually might be. That screenshot is kind of blurry, so I don't want to read it. But if I wanted to allow that website, all I have to do is just click add. And I just need a domain. I don't necessarily need the full thing of it. But here it is. Here's the login. Here is the name of that app that's running, I suppose. It says here app. So it is trying to invoke some kind of app, as we've kind of guessed. And you can do this here like that. And you can do both. You can add this here, and then you can just add the domain itself, which I think automatically does it anyways. But if you just do this here, and you can add HTTPS and HTTP, just the regular HTTP, non-secured version of it. And it just kind of did it, and you can tell that it just kind of defaults to just the domain itself anyways. It wasn't the case before. At least in, what was I doing, like IE or whatever. So it looks like by default it just now adds the domain. So the entire domain, meaning that the name of the website for that website, is allowed now to send pop-ups and use redirects. So circling back to what we were talking about here, if this website, and let's look at the screenshot again, if this website wants to do a redirect or create a pop-up after you select confirm credentials, then now it's going to fix it if that's the issue. All right. I would say I would try to allow pop-ups and redirects for that website specifically. You can find this in Chrome settings. Otherwise, the issue may be with login. I've seen this before too, where you try to log into something that you may not have access to, and you may not even get an error. Just nothing would happen. I've seen that happen as well with login, or the website is not functioning properly. And we could talk about Java. We can talk about Java here and how some websites use that Java applets. And Java would be installed on your computer, right? And I don't know who would have this. Nowadays, Java is honestly kind of insecure, or insecure, not in the sense, it's not a person, but it's not safe to use because there are security issues with it. But it will be installed on your computer, and the way you would find it would be in the control panel. And I don't think this computer has it here, but you would see Java in here, and you would go in there and you would have some settings that would be related to Java. I have a video on this as well. It's an older video, but if you want me to send you the link to that, please leave a comment and I'll send it to you. And so that way you can check it out, because there are some troubleshootings with that. All right. Let's see if I have the strength to do another. Uh, let's pick here. Let's try this phone one. I mean, in case you do some phone troubleshooting, which you may, as help desk. It says here, I'm having issues with my phone. It's given an error. The error message says Skype for business authentication failed. Sign in again. It will not allow me to sign in. I do not have a dial tone either. So in some cases, Skype for business is used, and I'm going to say Skype is going away, just as in like something that's being used. But there are two different versions of Skype. There's Skype for home use, and there's Skype for business. Same thing with Teams. And with Skype, you can actually set it up to basically act as a phone. And if this case person is not able to sign in, then it's a sign in issue, right? There's really nothing else that it could be. So in this case, I forget, because Skype is really just so old. I forget whether Skype uses two-factor authentication. I mean, it does use Windows credentials, Windows login. So chances are you may need to authenticate like that because it's on your phone. So your phone should probably have the, let's say, Microsoft Authenticator or some kind of authenticator installed that's associated with the account that they're using for this Skype login specifically. So whatever it is that they're using to log into Skype for business, they need to check to see if their two-factor needs to be maybe checked, or their password expired, or they're not on the network. Aside from that, I don't think, honestly, please let me know in the comment if you're more familiar with Skype for business type of stuff. But nowadays, everything that's related to Microsoft is related to your email address. And that email address at work would be the same as for whatever it is that's for Microsoft. So meaning that when you log into office.com, you can use your work email and sign into it if it's the same email that you use for your Outlook, for your Skype, for your Teams. Doesn't even have to be at Microsoft.com. Doesn't even have to be at Outlook.com. It doesn't have to be in your email specifically. So for those reasons, I would just check that just to make sure that that password hasn't been expired, which, it could be tied directly to your Active Directory account as well. It could be, because it's still, you can connect both of those and have them both connected at the same time. So check all of these things that are related to sign-in issues. And it's just one of those things where the error is very specific, right? It's very specific. And it could be something on the phone itself. You know how your phone has, like, memorizes your previous logins, and you can clear data on your app. So open up your app and clear all the data, so that way, or remove Skype, reinstall it, do all the basic stuff. But just because it's very specific, it could mean that your phone is trying to use your saved password that's expired as well. So it's definitely that. Just kind of go through your basic troubleshooting when it comes to this one, and make sure you kind of touch on everything. I know sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget what those troubleshooting steps are, right? Because there are tons of things to remember. But trying to do basic troubleshooting on this that is related to sign in. So I will just say this is probably related to access in some way. Check all the things related. For example, multi-factor authentication, password, and app settings on the, or I'm going to say actually, and saved passwords on the phone. Yep, I hope that helps. Actually, let me try. What is this here? I want to. This is something new for this ticketing system. I just want to see what this is. These canned responses. Oh, okay. So this is pretty cool. I can create automatic response. Oh, look at this. Is cool. That's cool. So this is something new within this ticketing system. Okay. Some AI action. Well, no, this is not AI. This is just canned. They do have some AI built in here. Writing assistant. Oh, this is what helps me type these things. Cool. All right, I will resolve this, and I'm going to end video at that. If you like these videos, please let me know in the comment below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Please share this video with friends that might like this type of training, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.